Just over 2 weeks away from MLB's opening day in 2024. We welcome you to this Tuesday, live right here on the early line on SportsGrid. I am Ben. He is Donnie. The man in the middle is Craig Mish, our MLB insider all across the SportsGrid network, the host of Newswire, in a little bit less than 50 minutes, 11 a.m. Eastern time, right here on the grid. Craig, I was down in your neck of the woods, as we have shared a few times on this show over the weekend. Spring training game between the Cardinals and the Mets at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium over there in Palm Beach. And Craig, I stumbled my way up to the press box somehow. I didn't know they had a shrine to you and a seat reserved for Craig Mish for all of his contributions to the Marlins in Major League Baseball. I didn't know that. You didn't tell me.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that myself because I haven't been up to the press box this spring, believe it or not. So I guess I'll have to make my way up there. I have covered the team, not as much as I normally do, but sometimes. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go up there, and hopefully there's some food there, like some hot dogs and some chicken parm, Donnie. Hopefully that's the case.
I left you a little surprised, Craig. It rhymes with schmud schmite. And I'll let you figure out what that looks like. A tall boy of about 16 ounces. Anyway, as we keep it moving around Major League Baseball, you are welcome. I saw the Mets, but now to the other New York team. And it wasn't great news yesterday for the Yankees or Gerrit Cole. Craig, I'm going to read you two reports. First from ESPN's Jeff Passan that said Yankees ace Gerrit Cole will have an MRI on his right elbow. Manager Aaron Boone told reporters yesterday. Cole is coming off winning the American League Cy Young Award and has had difficulty bouncing back between spring training starts. That's what Boone said. But Brian Hawk, who covers the Yankees for MLB, also said that Boone, this is about Aaron Judge. That's on me. All right, I messed that up. Anyway, Gerrit Cole is our first update here. That's my fault. All right, anyway, bad hosting. Right. We focus on only Gerrit Cole first and foremost. Craig, how concerned are you, or should we be, about Gerrit Cole's status entering opening day?
I mean, I'm more concerned for those tall boys sitting next to you in the studio, Ben, right now. I thought we'd be talking about Judge to start, but hey, we could do Cole, we could do both. Look, here's the situation. Obviously, it's more concerning for Cole than it is for Judge at this very moment, only because when you're talking about a pitching arm, and I think the way that they're describing it is the recovery for Cole. So after he pitches, potentially 2-3 days in, not feeling like he should after start. So that's why the MRI is there. Look, obviously it's speculation at this point, and so we can't really get into what the deal is, how serious it is. Is there a tear? Is there not a tear? Is he fine? Is this just dead arm? We have no idea. But the notion now that the Yankees are already halfway through spring training with $700 million on the payroll, potentially not being ready for opening day, is something that definitely should give people great pause for. I don't think that there is an answer out there in free agency, whether it's signing JD Martinez or Blake Snell, just to sort of patchwork this together. But it just does go to show you that the Yankees just are overvalued every year in every market. And something really has to happen is go a little bit wrong with them, and you end up making money on them. And I'm not rooting against the Yankees by any means. I mean, I grew up initially as a Yankees fan when I was very young, and I lived in New York. But just the reality is that a lot of people like Notre Dame, they like betting on them. They like betting on Tom Brady. They like betting on Alabama. And we are a sports betting network. And you have to understand that you're almost never going to get any kind of value with betting the Yankees. I'm guessing their win total is going to shoot down now from the mid-90s to under that. I would be very surprised, guys, right now if that total's still 92.5 on FanDuel. I mean, I know we're showing it there, but I would be very surprised if that's what it's going to be in a couple of days. Now, by the way, with Aaron Judge, oblique, look, they're going to downplay this 100%. This is what every team does, especially when you're trying to sell tickets for opening day. You're not going to tell people Aaron Judge is not going to be in the lineup opening day. All right? So at this point, what would I guess? Just based on track record for history, Aaron Judge is going to be out for a couple weeks. There's no question. They are not going to rush this. It's a 162-game season. The oblique is very dangerous. It could cost you a month or two. My guess is it costs him a couple of weeks. I think what he said is fair to the media this morning, which is basically he's hoping to be ready for opening day. I think there's still time for that. I think there is. But make no mistake about it. If you're paying to go to a spring training game in Florida to go watch the Yankees before opening day, I don't think you're going to see Judge play.
Yeah.
Fans being angered, too, by the Yankees, because the interesting part is he got pulled out of the lineup after only 2 at-bats. Like, oh, yeah, I'm fine. It's 2 at-bats. I'm a little bit beat up here. We were led to believe that it's still that toe injury, but now we're hearing it's the oblique injury. And also, for one of the best pitchers in baseball to be having an MRI on his elbow before the season actually starts, we usually know how that ends up factoring in throughout the rest of the Major League Baseball season. Quick other baseball point for you, Craig, here, because this brings into it. Montgomery's still out on the market here, and also Snell. Now, the one team that we've always heard about were the Yankees and Snell, but being so far apart, could we be seeing here Snell like a 1-year deal and they try this again next year?
I don't think so. I don't like they call that the pillow contract, Donnie. I don't think so for Montgomery or Snell. I do think that there's a chance that they get a 4-year deal or a 3-year deal with the opt-outs as Scott Boras has done after 1 year. But I don't think you go from a rumored market of $160 million to 25 and 1. I don't think so. And the other thing is that this is a really hard conversation, I think, to have with Yankees fans. And maybe it's just me covering baseball and covering a different market in South Florida. But I got to tell you, the answer is not duct taping this for the Yankees right now. I don't think so. I think that you lose Cole. There is no replacing him. Blake Snell is not going to replace Gerrit Cole. Cole's a superior pitcher, gets deeper into the games than Snell. Snell's very good. Make no mistake about it. All this is going to do is temporarily soothe the fans. You're going to, at the end of the season, you're going to be talking about how do we get rid of Stanton? How do we get rid of this guy? How do we trade this guy with all this money? The Yankees are never going to rebuild, and they're never going to take a step back as they shouldn't. They're the most popular team, making the most money maybe outside of the Dodgers in Major League Baseball. But I got to tell you, if they lose Cole for an extended period of time, and if this thing lingers with Judge, as obliques can over the course of the season, you cannot look at the Yankees as a first-place team or a second-place team, and maybe not even a third-place team going into the season.
So whether it is Aaron Judge or Gerrit Cole, who knows? You guys did. You guys had that pretty hammered down. I appreciate your support during a rough moment for me. The Yankees did not see a ton of, not today, Craig, on Saturday, bad day to be a beer. Not today, at least not yet. Maybe after this performance, we hit the showers early. But anyway, Craig, we did not see any movement really on the Yankees win total. A little bit longer in the American League East divisional odds. We did see 70 cents of movement from plus 390 to plus 460. Still the second best price to win the American League pennant. But they were only 10 cents behind Houston, the Stros, the favorites, at plus 380. Now it's plus 460. Long term, that seems to be the field for New York. Quickly here, Craig, as we transition into the National Football League. Free agency frenzy yesterday. Biggest move. Kirk Cousins makes his way to Atlanta. 4-year deal, $180 million. Did you like the move for the Falcons?
The salary cap's a funny thing in the NFL. There's like the floor and the ceiling. It's almost like you have to spend a certain amount of money, and that's why free agency is just so insane in the NFL. And by the way, a lot more fun than it is in the other sports. I think the move for the Falcons obviously puts them in the division that is very winnable. All they needed was good quarterback play. I can't tell you how many times I watched Ritter running toward the end zone last year, fumbling out of the end zone or fumbling behind himself. And look, they tried. They drafted a quarterback. They had Arthur Smith there. It didn't work out. This is definitely, to me, the way to go. I think when I look at free agency, the most impressive move that I thought yesterday, and by the way, I'm not a huge fan of Saquon Barkley, but my gosh, do the Eagles do things right in free agency every year? It always feels like they make that move that is like, wow, they did that, and that's going to help them. Now, I know they crumbled last season, but man, Barkley with that offense and Jalen Hurts, if they could just figure out what happened to them at the end of the season, I think you got to look at the Eagles as one of the favorites again to win the NFC.
All about the money at the running back position, but the investment is certainly there in Philadelphia. Donnie Rightside happy about it. Craig Mish very happy. He will be on Newswire in just about 40 minutes at 11 a.m. Eastern. No beers until at least noon. Around the association up next.